So, this weekend we got Blitz Pit, which have a lovely AB command called Blitz Pit. We got the brackets, we got the team builds, and we got how to support the concept. But it's a double elimination knockout.
Everything is alright.
Awesome, thank you Samad, my #1 supporter. So it's a 16-player knockout. It's Resurrection. This time around it's 1100 plus 5 normal and a double. It's 1 minute's turn, hence the name Blitz Pit. It's fast and furious. Over time it's making it a bit special, which will mean like my team is potentially not the best for that, but if I ever wanted to play my Dark Elves, it's going to be tonight. Not surprisingly, Dio has turned up with something small, fat and filthy. Pretty standard dwarves. 5 guard and 1 mighty blow. 2 guard blitzers to make them on the mobile positioners. To tackle mighty blow for the blitzing, 3 rerolls, Apo, 12 players. It's like a OLR thing, it's a Streamlabs thing, so when you subscribe, it does something. It's really weird, there's like a Viking and a Knight and all crappy stuff. If anything, Dio's only surprise, if anything, is the Troll Slayer, so you got 2 runners, you got 3 Moominade. Yeah, and Dio's just doing that just to be annoying. He's playing Wood Elves, he's playing Bride, which... Bride's Wood Elf, we got Bride's Wood Elf. Bride has gone with the 3 men and 3 blitzers. Got triple tackle, got leader, block, sure hands, wrestle. And 2 rerolls, no apple. I am... If anybody knows me, I don't like the leader for all. I would rather have the 4th blitzer. But it is what it is. I really don't like leader. Normally, I can see the 3 because of overtime. Just 1 less piece that gets knocked around, but on the other hand, you're losing the apple to do that. Normally, I don't skill up catchers. I think it's a bit wasted skills as well. Like the sure hands is only if the ball get knocked free, you don't want to run with him. I would prefer skilling up like 2 wrestle and a dodge, or 2 dodges and wrestle on the lineman. I will imagine Dio is winning this one. That is. Next after that, we got in the top, we got Crucifer with Chaos Dwarves. Chaos Dwarf is a bit of a... I think they will struggle a bit in this format. Who cares about that? There shouldn't actually be any. Oh well. We are busy doing other stuff, so Crucifer is gone what he knows. It's Chaos Dwarves. Got the Mino, which so it's only 11 players Apple with a Mino. Only 2 Hobgoblins for the same reason. I'm not crazy with the high rolls. I would prefer the bench or the Mino. 2 rerolls Apple is not much either. But 5 guards in the sure hands. I would prefer break tackle bulls instead of this. But nobody using the screen anywhere for the chat. I don't know why it's even there. Crucifer is playing Ragnar's. Humans. Humans, he's gone. So he's gone for 2 rolls apple, gone for not stacking, and still using the. Oh, there's no stack here because it's not that rule set. Sorry about that. So gone from the block ogre for double, 2 guard, 1 tackle, 1 mighty blow, block. Nothing on the thrower. I'll probably personally have taken one of the block down on the thrower. And I will have gone with 3 guard. And either drop mighty blow or tackle. But that's just me. It's not too bad. I can see Crucifer win that one even if I don't like the build. I just kind of know why it's some kind of overlay thing. It asked me to turn it off, not on, off at one point. I probably said yes to turn it on. I have no clue, I don't really care. As a reason my subscribe club is called We Don't Give a Fuck Club. Because that's not the important thing. All the fancy snizzle is not the important part. Then we got Colian's 3-team reroll, 1 of each. There's an article out about. There's an article you can find on Bits and Bobs. What makes more sense, cheerleader coaching. For some reason in this world, he's gone with 1 wolf. I have no clue why. That is the weirdest thing in this whole tournament. No, that's not true. Rick's build is the weirdest. He's gone with cow fleshies, and in my world you can do blocked fleshies or cow fleshies as long as you do 1 of each. And not do 1 of each as long as you do the same. That's just 2 mighty blow, 1 tackle, 1 block. That's 3 block players in all on this. 1 dirty player, only 12 man. This is a high roller go home setup. And it's running into Jimmy Fantastic Dark Elf. Wait says 2 rerolls, Apple, 3 blitzers, all with dodge, 1 block, 1 wrestle, dodge runner. Hey, flick flag. You can. It's the same roster I have. You can argue you could have 2 wrestle, which is I like the block because it stuff in some matchups you don't want 2 friendship pieces running around at the same time. So I prefer having 1 block, which is a better ball carrier. In the Wood Elf game and like games like that, you also want the block piece to hunt down. Then you got the wrestle for safety and the block for actually blocking stuff. You need to try to hurt. You could argue because of overtime that a dodge runner will potentially be better, and then using the 10k for fan factor. I do like the movement 7, even if it gives you an AV7 more. So I think Jimmy is winning that one. I'm good. We're just doing a quick Blitz Pit preview, and then it's Tackle Zone casting the rest of the evening. Should have been going by PC, but apparently...
I'm sorry I'm late, I'm here now.
But I was afraid you thought there was a different time zone, that I was talking UTC. Talking about double wrestle, Scattered Eyes has gone with double wrestle. And leader runner, and I have the same problem with the leader runner as the leader thrower. It's shit. You have you have armor 7 piece you need to protect, and it's your movement 7 piece as well. So on defense, you need to protect a player as one of your best players to get around assisting people.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about this exact issue the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Last time we were talking. Yeah. It's especially on the Dark Elf team, it just takes away one of your best mobile pieces. It's just and the chance
you've paid 30k for it, but really when you've got limited skills, it's more the fact that you've put a skill there to get that extra reroll. And it means the piece has to be protected with its low armor.
And it probably means you need to use the same reroll on himself doing something at one point. Like,
Yeah, because he doesn't have the dodge. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a bag. I tried it. I was actually, until I tried dodge on my runner, I was close to just playing with the runner. And then I decided to give dodge a go, and since that I've been sticking with dodge.
right.
Dio was arguing because of overtime it might have been worth not taking the runner and just sticking dodge on alignment to do the same.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I just like the extra movement.
I see it both ways. As someone who often faces Dark Elves, when there's 3 AV7 on the pitch, I think, yummy, I should get a chance at hitting at least one of those at some point.
Yeah, but
it does add more pace, and that's a worry to anyone.
But you also come with built-in tackle. In a lot of matchup, the dodge runner is kind of left alone because he's not a prime target in the same way as the leader runner is.
Yes, exactly. Once you put leader on him, then that's everyone's going to be trying to hit that. Because it's AV7, and taking it out before the second half gives you a real on-field advantage.
Where if you just sticks dodge on him, then you need, if it's not a block piece, you need to roll a 6 to actually knock him down.
Yeah. The thing I really like about the runner build, because I'm not a huge fan of runners outside of now, the thing I like about it is because if you want 2 witches and 3 blitzers, it gives you someone to carry that frees those players up to be getting around, getting in people's faces, forming your screen, doing what you really want your blodge doing.
Yeah, and dodge and movement 7 is a good piece, and if shit hits the fan, dump off can save you.
Yes, it can. No, I like it.
But I do, for the same reason which I talked about probably just before you joined, I like to have a block witch elf, just because if shit hits the fan, to wrestle frenzy pieces is hard to use. So then you can use a block piece, one of the witches as ball carrier.
And no, wild man, I was late because I was having dinner with my wife, who sometimes insists that we do these things, and talking with my children, who very occasionally are interested in what I say. So if they are, I think that's worth still talking to them for a sec. Yeah, I mean, I really like that, the Dark Elf build, but I do think the runner is there, as you said, to have the dodge, to get around, to get in people's faces.
And just mark like skillless pieces if you need them to stay put. So he's playing Wolfback, which is gone guard mummies, guard white, frenzy white, wrestle, block ghouls, 3 rerolls, 2 fan factors. You could argue cheerleader and coach is better. For at least that's what Jomanti has calculated at one point in time. That's 2 things. I find it's overtime. I like 4 ghouls normally, but with overtime I understand 3 ghouls on 13.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't like mummy skills. Anybody good is mummies are part of the drive for 3 turns against anybody good. Or either you stock or they're out of the game anyway.
Yes, I mean you try and mark them up with something you don't mind if they do kill it, but if they don't, then they're stuck on it for presumably several turns, and then you've got to put effort in to get the thing off the mummy so the mummy can get back where you want it, and the minute you do, they tie it up again.
Yeah, that's why I, at least in this case, because you only have, I will probably still give 1 guard, because if you need to give somebody something, guard is fine. I will go on with sure hands or block on the last ghoul instead.
On the ghoul, yeah, and I mean, I'd have been tempted instead of the frenzy. I'm not a huge fan of frenzy. I do think it can be used as a nega trait. I mean, at this level, it shouldn't be that easy to trap a frenzy player, but at this speed, perhaps it will be.
Yeah.
So I just worry about it. I know that with the 3 guards, you've got the guard to support a frenzy, but I think it's a very hard out of the traps build. You need all of that to start paying off quickly.
But it's problem again with movement 3, then it means the frenzy needs to stay around. With something that's not that mobile. It's interesting. I'm not actually sure about that game. I was, if you go back, I have Dio to beat Bright, and I have Cruz to beat Ragnar, and I got Jimmy to beat Colion.
Okay, Colion's build is very, very interesting. I could see that going either way, but Jimmy's build Jimmy was very, very chuffed to have, he said, 10 minutes of not thinking, come up with the same build it's taken you years to hone down to perfection.
To be fair, my part was figuring out what the hell to do with that runner. Just the Colian roster. If it goes off, it will win him the game, but it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't work. It's one wolf. It's like playing
Yeah.
Dark Elf with one witch.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to see anybody against it piling in on that wolf with everything they've got at any chance they've got.
I'll just give it, if it wolf back on that, just give it a zombie.
Yeah, I'll give it a zombie to play with, absolutely, that also works.
And then smash it to hell when it gets away from the rest of the group suddenly.
Yeah. Or when it both downs, because it's also going to eat rerolls if it's frenzy hitting all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do think Wolfpack will edge out Shattered Eyes, even if I really like playing Dark Elf against Undead myself. It's but I do think Wolfpack will win that one, probably in overtime.
Now this is the tie of the round in my mind. There are better competitions, but this is a hilarious matchup.
So
the two Khemris face off.
Which Khemri do we first? We have Random Boy.
And you will definitely face one of them in the second round.
I will, potentially.
Win or lose. Because if you win, you face whichever of them wins, and if you lose, you face whichever of them loses.
Is it that way? Just go. I haven't.
Yep. So your round 2 is Khemri, definitely.
Fine with me. So Random Boy is gone with 4 guard.
Yep.
Tomb Guardians, 1 tackle, 1 mighty blow.
Yeah.
Block and dodge runner, 12 players, 3 rerolls.
So what do you think about the dodge runner? When questioned about it, he said he didn't realise he could have used the double for a normal. So that's why he's put dodge on a runner.
I've been taking a block Tomb Guardian.
Right. Yeah, I think I would have done. And then another block on the other thrower.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, just double blocking, because your problem is you freaking miss. Like, if you have a bad one in 9 days, getting absolutely nowhere. I will have preferred block, especially in defense as well, because it just gives you more pieces that can actually blitz. If the blitz starts getting tied up in shit. And I will go for a block Tomb Guardian. Yeah,
I think that's the build with Khemri I'd be looking at. But 4 guard is very, very powerful.
Yep.
Big, scary pieces.
But it's big, scary pieces with no support. Besides the 2 blitzers.
Yeah, well, it's got three rerolls and a cheerleader. There's a lot of power behind them. And when you see the other build, this one's going to look fantastic. Because if you haven't checked out Rick Reckless, it's a joyful thing to do.
So he gone with the block. He gone with 0 rerolls, which we come back to. Block and the 3 guard makes sense.
Which I prefer, and I think you do too.
Yeah.
But only 1 Blitzra and only 1 Thrower.
Mighty Blow and Leader, because it does no reroll. Wrestle Dirty Player, which I will personally have taken 2 Wrestle. I don't like Dirty Player on 13-man where half your skillets are skillets.
No, you can't afford for him to go off, really.
And there's no argument.
I guess if there's like 1 wolf you're facing, then a Dirty Player could be useful.
Yeah, but if that's just the problem is also there's no Archer to call and no nothing. But we also see he got 300,000 in the bank, because we got a chef.
Yes, he's bringing the Halfling Master Chef as Khemri. Which is either genius or idiocy, and I think I don't know. We'll see.
It could. I must admit, I will be annoyed. For me, it will be annoying, but I will if I can get to that thrower, then I don't care too much.
Yeah.
But I could see if the problem is actually because of Random Boy's build. If we go back to that, which only have 3 block pieces. If you're losing his rerolls, that is actually potentially a problem.
Yes, very, very much so. And suddenly, Leader looks quite a good skill as an unstealable reroll.
Yes.
So that's really changed the whole Leader paradigm on some of the Dark Elf teams, if that Khemri team got through.
I'd still rather won my dodge.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting through is a huge worry to many people. But you
Um,
never know. Look, if that chef rolls well for the first half against those other Khemri, and he steals even 2 of those re-rolls, I
Yeah.
could really see him turning them over. Because, like you said, that lack of block, add a lack of re-rolls, and suddenly that's a real worry.
It's not like Rick has any rerolls, but any block, because he got 2. But it could be the game of who rolls the least 1 in 9s in bad times, if Rick takes the rerolls.
Yes.
I still think Random Boy is winning, which is
I think
unfortunately
Random Boy's winning.
because I want to play Rick, so I might need to do. Which segues.
Well, if you didn't win the first round, you will play Rick, in my opinion.
Yes, which lead into where is Vigenta?
Then it's the hard route to the final.
So Vigenta has gone with the same 3 blitzers, leader, war dancer, apple reroll. I again prefer 4 catches instead of the bloody throw. 1 speed. At least he's not skilled up 2 catches, but only 1, which I still think is silly. The catches are fine.
They don't need a skill, do they?
No, only if you want to use it as ball carrier, and you don't really want a strings 2 ball carrier anyway. Your strip ball is your dedicated ball carrier on defense. The problem is you could kind of blitz with him, but you don't want to put 2 assists in anyway either. So it's a little bit. So strip ball is carrying, tackle is blitzing. That's how Wood Elf works, and then the rest dodge around and do stuff.
Yeah, but you've got to think here that his blodge catcher is going to be the ball carrier, surely, or else why put a block on it? Yeah. Or else you'd put wrestle on it if you wanted. It's much better for sacking with wrestle.
I have no clue.
Or if you want it to 1 turn, perhaps even a sidestep on it, and then where you can do some edge stuff as well with him. But
yeah,
I just don't see that.
I can accept
blodge is very high value on him.
I can accept sidestep also for the 1 turner, because you don't want overtime with this roster.
No.
So I can accept sidestep as being useful. I prefer just having 4 catches, and if 1 or 2 dies, we don't care, because we still got at least 2. And I prefer dodge. I prefer my normal setup on the line of scrimmage will be, if I have the 3, will be with the active linemen, rest the 2 dodge linemen or the 2 rest linemen, depending on what I'm meeting. If they don't have tackle, I'll put the 2 dots up with the 3 to minimize the risk of actually losing anybody.
Yep.
If they got tackle, you put the 2 wrestle and see people that really want to block them.
I still will, but that's, because if I'm bringing dwarves, for example, then it still pays off to try and do some hitting there. But it's definitely suboptimal.
Yeah,
you either take a lot of extra people to make sure you're getting your hits, and even then it's wrestle, so there's a good chance it doesn't go anywhere, or you've got to sacrifice a guard on the tree, which is not the player you want holding the tree still.
We can look at my team, but it's pretty boring because it is exactly the same as Jimmy's.
Yeah, well, you've been copying Jimmy for a while now, haven't you? Where he goes, the rest of us lead. Where he leads, the rest of us go. So
I was seriously thinking taking on that because of overtime and going with a similar 3 gold roster as. But mine is, if I ever get a chance to play my Dark Elf in a Blitz Pit, it's going to be this one with this rule set. If I want to have a good shot at actually going anywhere with Dark Elf in Blitz Pit, it needs to be now.
Yes. I don't know. I've only done this and the one before, but apparently the rules change every time, so we might never see a low TV build for a while again.
Yeah, I tried them in a high TV build where I run into a deal with 3 times jump up piling on dwarves that got a blitz.
Ooh, yeah.
And he got a blitz as well, so everything was in contact to start with.
Oh, that's not where you want to be.
No, that was bad. And I think I also missed the pick up at the same time. It was shit with shit on. Or did I use the reroll on the pickup and then failed the first dodge or something? It was absolutely horrific. But I'm happy to be back. I was invited to the last one but declined because I was supposed to play Monkey Ball in Hartlepool, which got COVID-19.
Got COVIDed, yeah.
We got 2 games more. To be fair, do you want to predict that one? Because I'm not. It's my own game.
Yeah, I have to say, I think against Woodies with Dark Elves at the NAF style build, that's a game you're very, very used to. Like anyone, woodies
It's-
can cause you trouble, but I'd pick you for that one if I had to put
It's
money
a 50. It's pretty much a 50-50 game normally. It depends if the wood elf can survive and get
Yeah,
a
so
lucky bulk up.
looking outside of this just odds of the two teams, you look at who's coaching them, and only one of those two coaches is number one in NAF. So that's where my money goes and why.
Yeah, that's fair. I will be a little bit disappointed if I don't win, but it's wood elf. Anybody can lose to wood elves.
Yes, without shame, just with frustration and anger.
Yes, and we got your dwarves, and I will imagine they're a bit like Dios, but in a proper order.
They're a bit like Dios, but in the proper order. Except I've gone with a block runner because I thought there'd be wood elves left, right, and centre at this size of build.
Yeah.
And I get enough trouble with them two dicing me uphill without them able to do it without block.
You have the Troll Slayer as well.
Yeah, the Naked Troll Slayer as well. I love having a Troll Slayer. I love how much people go after it. But hence putting any skills on it with its low AV and its ability to get itself in trouble.
And of course people hit it. Like I do the same. If you can hit one of the 3 AV8 pieces, you're of course doing that.
Exactly. So I like my Mighty Blow to come with tackle and AV9.
Yeah, and you're going with guard, so it's only 4 guards.
Only 4 guards. So if it becomes a dwarf mirror against Dio, I'm probably in trouble.
Yeah, but
like most other races, I'd rather have my build.
And with having block, you can easily potato if you're running out of time without thinking too much of the guard placement.
Yes, if I have to, I can slightly more safely than him.
But where his is 5 guards are harder to stop that little case rolling.
Oh, definitely.
And you got Shawnee.
I have Shawnee with his undead. Now I like this undead build, so I think this is going to be a very tough game.
Yeah, I do as well, but I do find 4 ghouls troll man is a bit risky for overtime 4-man tournaments.
Yes, if it gets to overtime, I think that looks nice for me with my better AV. But he's got 3 rerolls, he's got 12 men, and he's got the pace that, he's only got to get a lucky misfield or a bad bounce for me, and suddenly there's going to be very hard to get to those 4 ghouls. But on the other hand, if I can get stuck into them, then that could be bad for him. So that's going to be a really interesting one.
Give me a second.
As is the fact he's brought a skeleton for that slightly extra pace as his 12th player.
Yeah, I do like the scale. I do personally like the skeleton on the team just for the sheer extra movement, especially if you force to score on a shorter drive.
Yeah, I think people too often default to just zombies when, if you've got someone that's going to start on the bench, something that can move 5 perhaps isn't that bad a shout. And of course, if you're placing anyone with claw, then it's much better than a zombie. So if you're trying to keep a claw miner or a yeti honest, then dropping that on it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's it's not too. The thing is, the odds of actually the first of the TSD games is started. So we probably need to get a little bit of speed on. We can of course just. It is, but the thing is, the odds of actually hurting for most team a Dodge AB7 player is actually not high.
Yeah.
You're not actually likely to hurt any of them. But again, like I said about Wolfbark, I have been moving those 2 skills down to the 2 ghouls. In this case, I've been taking 2 block ghouls instead of the 2 guard mummies. And personally, I actually like going guard then on the whites. Because the rest will have to work. If you need to stop a bloodshed, the rest need to do it. But you're not as much thinking about sacking, you're thinking about stopping. If that makes sense.
Yes, I really struggle anytime I design a team for NAF that doesn't have a tackle on board. I think that's going to come back and haunt me. But I similarly feel that mummies are absolutely fine just without anything on them. And I've never really been blocking around them because sometimes you're going to have to leave them behind. They're just too slow to go with you all the way unless you're really dominating the drive. Ah, I may have lost connection.
I can hear you. It's a little.
Good.
You're just
I
bringing
can't
up a
see
big.
anything. Yeah, I had some red things on my.
Yeah, it's bouncing a bit. Give me a
And certainly
second.
the Twitch feed's gone down right now, but I'm sure it'll come back.
So yeah, again, I will put my skills on the ghouls because it's the ghouls that's going to win me the game. It's not the mummies. Yeah. Oh, hey Dave. It's good in this first matchup. You are correct. But overall, for winning the tournament, I don't like him. But it's bad for this matchup. And now I may have lost PC.
Hang on, I think I'm. Can you hear me? Because I think I'm getting back in, but it's.
Yeah, I can hear you. A
Issues
little bit robotic, but you hear. So I definitely have PC winning that one. Who's the last one? So it's Andros.
Well, I'm going to tip Shawnee.
Yeah, like it's fair. I think I think you're winning it still, but yeah. Yeah, the 4 goals combined with that. Where is Andres? Sorry, I'm also helping DM Lord. I think he's got his time with his opponent wrong. He thinks he's UTC +1, but he's UTC +2. So we've got Andre, which is gone with 3 guard, which I better like, and 2 guard Mighty Blow, and a tackle. And actually he done what I wanted to do as well, putting block on thrower. 3 reroll. If I play human, I'll probably do the same. And he's playing Elliot's Amazons, which must be Roxy Amazons, because there's only 11 players, 1 reroll Apo, 4 guard, leader, wrestle. I don't like that.
Yeah, I looked hard at Amazons for this because I actually didn't want to come back with dwarves again.
You can go 14 players and 3 rerolls, 14 players, 3 rerolls for overtime.
Yeah,
I'm happy
Roxy,
with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. If it was kicks, you could go 4 rerolls and 13 players and Apo. And with actually overtime, you can go 14 players, 3 rerolls, Apo. And if anything is problem, just play for the draw. You'll be fine against most.
Sure. I mean, I would personally, if I wasn't doing Roxy, I'd just be blodging everything up. Perhaps putting 1 Rog in there, but other than that,
I'll go 4 guard. And the 4 guard is so good.
Yeah, 4 guard on the 4, but you don't need leader on your thrower.
No, you take red.
Get a couple of blodge catchers is handy to have for handoffs.
Yeah, I might be tempted
because
not
without the
to
pace
go.
of Roxy, 6 isn't that fast. So the ability to hand off to a blodge catcher, I think, is really nice.
I will go 3 roll 14 players and then probably no catchers and use the money for bits and bytes to steal all the rerolls from people as well.
Sure, okay.
That makes sense. Just style people out, 4 guard, block and wrestle. I wonder wrestle if you play dwarves or something block heavy where you sometimes need to make a hole.
Yeah, I think 1 wrestle is absolutely fine. I wouldn't be going multiple dodge wrestles. I think blodge is such a strong combo, particularly backed with 4 blodge guards. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't be wasting one on leader with cheap rerolls. So unless you've got Roxy, I think there's just no need for it.
Yeah.
Or a thrower in general.
But Roxy build is it's so easy to, if he gets just a couple of removal, then overtime is going to be hellish.
Yes.
Who's winning that?
That's a tough call. It's I think for a Roxy build Zons, it's got about as good a draw as it could hope for.
But it's 3 guards, so he's not out guarding the humans. He got Mighty Blow block to try to take out the defenseless pieces. I'll go hard at 3 dicing with that ogre, cause to take
getting
out
that Mighty Blow in on
numbers.
AB7 is lovely.
I think
with 3 dice, you can even, without tackle, you can still usually pull a power out from somewhere, or a boat down on something that doesn't even have block. And then he has got the tackler, so I think the humans have got a good shot.
Roxy, I think Roxy needs to one turn to win it.
Yeah, I slightly favour the humans there, but I think it's a build that Roxy can help with.
Yeah, I can see Andre winning in overtime, just on numbers.
And as I said, if I get through, or if I don't, I will have to face one or the other of them in round 2, one way or the other. And of those, obviously, the humans would worry me slightly more than the Zons, despite those 4 guards.
So just because of funs and giggles, loose prediction: who's playing the final from the top row?
Rather boringly, I think, like everybody else, I'm struggling to see much beyond Dio.
Yeah.
I genuinely think Kolian has a shot because Necro, can high roll any team, and if that wolf does get going, then I think he's got a shot in the first round and the second. And then if he gets through against the dwarves, I would think he had a good shot there too. But if I had to put money on, I would say Dionysian beating. I'm going to have to say I think Kolian in the semi-final. If I had to put another thought in, I quite like Crucifer's Chorf build. I want to see how that goes.
I don't like it.
But that's because I'm desperate to find something with Chorfs that works in NAF style.
Yeah, and that's
so I want it to work more than I believe it will work, is perhaps the right way to put that.
Yeah, I think it's Steel beating Wolfpack.
Okay, yeah, I could buy that.
Then we have the bottom.
Well, in the bottom half, obviously, I don't believe in backing myself, so I see a semi-final of you versus Shawnee. I'm not crazy on that Andre build. I think against Undead it's going to really struggle. I think against Amazons it should be alright. I think against even Dwarves it should be alright. I think if it faces Shawnee's Undead in round 2, then he goes through against the humans, and then he loses to you in the semi-final. So I see a winner's final between you and Dio. And goodness knows who comes through the loser's draw.
Yeah, whereas we can quick look at Crucifer, but then we need to cast some TSD. He's gone Guard Bull and Mino and Johan's Bull. I have no clue what's going on here. This is
well,
interesting.
That's why I want to watch it.
I want to watch it as well, yeah. I could see myself play you in the semi, to be honest, but I also have... And that will be interesting, because my experience with Dark Elf Dwarf is not particularly good. So, cool. Let's get